Man, I got bad gas today, and I'm not liking it. You know when your own gas bothers you, you know it's bad. Usually, it doesn't bother you. But I'll tell you what, I think the women we're married to, women have worse gas than men. Don't ask me why. The wife came out of the bathroom last night. It was wall-to-wall stink. She sprayed that pine shit spray all over the place. It smelled like someone shit a rosemary bush in that mother humper. I'm feeling good today, guys. Good. Midwest Industries, get your shit together, will you? And, when I put them rail system on from Midwest Industries, the tactical rail system, do you know they were loose? I had to make spacers to make it tight, which is fine. They worked great. I made up my own spacers. Why? Because I have stuff here that I can do it with. That's what this video is about. I got 2 PMs. Guy said, well, I'm a gun collector and I'm thinking about working on my own guns, and what kind of basic tools do you need? The more tools you have, the better, because if you have the tool, you're going to do a good job. If you don't have the right tool and you use another object to supplement for the right tool, you're going to do a shitty job. You're going to scratch your gun. You're going to fuck it up. Okay? If you're going to do a job and work on your firearms by yourself, you need to have the right tools to do it. And this is what this video is mostly about. Most importantly, right now, another important thing is the Armory Guild changed his channel. And, all you guys that were subbed to him, you're going to have to resub to him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put his link under the video, because that guy is just platinum. Like I said before, there's no higher word I could say. He's like, I put him on Bill's shelf. Him and Bill are like bookends, on the platinum shelf. They're good friends. They stand by you, and they're awesome. And so I will put his link down there, and the new name of his channel is Rise Arms. Okay, so Matt. Everyone knows Matt. Let's try to get him his subs back. He was doing good, and he had to switch everything over. All right. Now here's the tools I have. This is the stuff I have. Now remember, working on your guns and doing gunsmith work is two completely different things. Do not do gunsmith work on your guns. Do not try it, because you will not be able to do it, because it's an art. It's something that has to be taught to you through school or an apprentice. You don't just take your trigger out and file shit down and do your own trigger job, because you're not going to be able to do it right. And then your gun's going to be unsafe. And then your gun's going to be going off when you ain't ready to go off because you made your trigger too sensitive, and you could kill somebody. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's what the deal with some of them Remington 700s. That was what the deal with that was. A lot of the guys were trying to do their own trigger jobs and make the trigger real sensitive. Man, that trigger is so sensitive. That Remington 700 on my rifle, the one I have, that trigger is more sensitive than my Ed Brown trigger. At least the Ed Brown trigger nudges just a touch, and I know when the hammer's going to fall, barely, but it does. That Remington, I do not know when it's going to fire. So there's no reason to make that trigger any lighter. Leave it alone. But if you want to put accessories on your gun, if you want to change parts out on your gun, if you want to change parts out on your Glock, if you want to change your mainspring housing on your 1911 because it's you just paid $1,000 for a Kimber and it's got a plastic mainspring housing, you could do stuff like that. You're not going to mess it up. You're not what's the word? You're not changing anything too much. You're just replacing parts. You're not converting stuff and reshaping things to make a new part work. You're just taking a part out and replacing a part. So you're pretty safe there. And even in those categories, you got to be careful and make sure you take the proper steps. All right? Damn. Most important thing you need is a gun vise right here. Wrap some tape around them jaws, put some padding around the jaws, then wrap some tape around it. I have to retape it again because the glue's coming through and it's getting all shredded. So I'll put more padding around it. I'll put a rubber around it and then I'll wrap it with duct tape, and then I can squeeze my barrel in there. Ooh, squeeze my little barrel. I could squeeze my barrel in there without scratching it up. Okay? Alright, let's move the camera up a little, because I want it the vise in the view. But now you don't need it, because I already told you that's the first thing you need. First thing you need is a vise. Okay? Then you need some basic tools. Let's go through them. I'm not know how good I am at this, but you know me, I love tools. First thing I want to cover, I mean, I don't consider these tools because this is cleaning stuff, but I love these Q-tips with the sticks. They're great for cleaning out when you take the firing pin out of a Glock in that channel. It's great for cleaning that. Or when you take the extractor out of a 1911, that long deep hole. These are great. These sticks, and my friend sent me a shitload of these. I just want to let him know that I did receive them. Thank you very much for the gift, dude. That was real nice of you. I hope everything's okay. Okay, so I love these for that. And I bought these hoppy patches, and I called Mr. 45 Bullet, and I was complaining about them because I said, dude, I don't like these. They're not absorbent. They feel like friggin' dryer sheets. So, but I never used them. So a buddy of mine, his name's Ron from Glen Olden, came over. I take care of Ron's guns for him now. He dropped off 6 guns. They were all very dirty, and I cleaned all his guns for him. And I used these Hoppies patches. Guess what? I like these patches. See, you don't know till you use it. I was feeling them, and I said they feel like dryer sheets. I don't like them. They're not absorbent, but guess what they are? They're strong. They're strong, and when I put them on my cleaning brush, they cling on there for some reason. They don't come off, and you can really scrub. Whatever, and the patch won't fall off the brush. You know when you wrap the patch around the brush like this. You know when you have a brush like this and you wrap the patch around it, and you want to clean inside the magazine well and all in there. See how it stays on there? It's like clings to it. Look. I can't even get it off, look. Is that awesome? So, reverse that bill. I love these patches. That's why I have them here. I just wanted to mention that. These Hoppy patches are pretty cool. I'll probably just buy these from now on. See, I jumped the gun like I always do. Because I am an extra large dork ball. Alright, next thing you're going to need. I just wanted to show you the Hoppies 9 patches. They're pretty neat. It's nice to have a trigger scale, okay? If you're really going to fine-tune, like I'm not telling you to do trigger jobs, but if you're real picky about a fine-tuned trigger and you want to find out what it is, these are great to have. This was sent to me, and this is awesome. It's just good to have, and maybe someday you might get trained to do a trigger job, so it's good to have one of these. We need one of those. Here's something you need. You can get one of these at Harbor Freight for like $10, and they work really good. The only thing is you'll be putting 10 batteries a year in them. Is these digital calipers. Now, if you're not yet used to using calipers, these digital ones are great because they're easy to read. Now, I have manual calipers with the dials, and because I used to work in the machine shop, so I know how to read them. And what's great about them is you never have to worry about a battery. They just But if you're just starting, you don't feel like learning how to read thousandths and all, just get these and put them on. Make sure it's on inches, not millimeter, and then so you can read it. Pretty cool, huh? I read it in inches. You could put it on millimeter if you want, but these are nice. They work very good and they're very accurate for the money. Okay, especially if you're reloading. You're really going to need these reloading. You have to have a pair of them. Okay. You want a scale. You want a 6-inch scale. A lot of people call this a ruler, but really, this is a scale. And it's good to have. Just for measuring barrels. You never know what you're going to need it for. Okay? I don't use it much, but once in a while it comes in handy. When I have to get into a spot that I can't get it. Because the tape measure is awkward. It dances around. And you have this clip on the end of it. And, I don't know. I'd rather use this. It's easier to handle and it's more accurate. And of course the tape measure is good to have too. You want a little ball peen hammer like this. Alright? a little one. Even this is kind of big. I don't even know how many ounces this is, but it's good to have when you're working on your guns, when you're working with punches and stuff. You need a nice, good bulky hammer. This is a Craftsman. It's a good hammer. The head will never come loose. They got the wedge in the top, and they really got it tight, so that's a good hammer. Now, if you go to them Harbor Freight and you get them cheap hammers, the only bad thing about them is them cheap hammers at Harbor Freight, you got to watch how the head's secured on them, because after a while they get loose quick. I'm talking about the steel with the wood handle ones. That's why, you know, I mean, you can fix it. You can put a wedge in there and tighten it up yourself, but that's why they're like, you know, they're only like $6 for a big ass hammer there. Just be careful. You might swing back and the fucking thing goes flying off and knocks your mom out. You know, whoever's standing behind you. Very important. Most important thing, most useful tool I have here for working on my guns is a mallet. You gotta have a mallet. Okay? You don't want to mar up your guns. You don't want to be banging on, you know, a $700 1911 and mess something up. You might slip and hit the barrel. You might slip and hit the frame, and then you're done. This, you slip and hit something, chances are you're probably not going to mess it up. And it's great for putting accessories on, you know, taking accessories off, AKs, you know, or AR, whatever, off and on. It's just a good thing. It protects your material you're working on. Got to have a mallet. Now I know you're saying, what the hell's that big giant ass crescent wrench doing here? This big ass adjustable wrench. Well, I use this for when I take my furniture off my AKs. You know that part, the furniture on the top of the gas, the one that wraps around the gas tube, that's a bitch to get out if it's not a loose one. It's very hard to get out. And I'll put this on the gas tube. I'll take the gas tube off and I'll put it on the end of the gas tube with a piece of rubber wrapped around it. Don't forget that. And then I'll put the housing in the vise and I'll twist it right out. Hasman asked me, you know, how do you get that thing out in an easier way? This is how I do it, Paul. I just use a big crescent wrench. I wrap a piece of rubber around that square part in the beginning of the gas tube, and I just twist it right out. Hold it in the vise, it comes right out. Be careful if you have wood, though. Be careful with the wood. That's for plastic synthetic furniture. Now the wood furniture, you gotta be careful. You might freaking crack it. So I don't know. I can't tell you on that one. That's why this is here. Of course, needle nose pliers. It's just common sense. There's a lot of small parts inside guns you can't get to. You might have to reach down inside the frame to grab a spring, or sometimes my Glock 23, the spring under that's called a cross. You take the slide off and you'll see that in the back there's a cross and there's a spring under the cross, and sometimes the spring will move over to the side and it keeps the trigger from resetting, and I can reach right down there with these needle nose pliers and center that spring again and fix my trigger. I've already done it. So for stuff like that, it's hard to get to. You gotta have a set of needle nose pliers. You know what I mean? Or in my case, if you got a little dick, you might need them to take a piss. Other than that, you want to, you know, an average decent tape measure, just for measuring barrels and stuff. You know, especially when you go gun shopping, it's good to have this on in your pocket. And whatever, tape measure, you gotta have a tape measure. And these Husky ones are good. I'm pretty picky with tape measures because I break a lot of them. These are pretty good. They're not as good as the Steel Max from Stanley, but the Husky ones they're pretty good. They're not bad, and they're real easy to read. They're nice and bright, and they don't have that shiny shit on them. They're real. It catches your eye nice. It's a nice tape measure. You always want a screwdriver. I have a couple screwdrivers with electrical tape wrapped around them in case I have to pry something off, or in case I'm doing a disassembly on a pistol, like a Ruger LCP. The Ruger LCP has a little tiny little divot in there where you have to get under it and pop it out. And if it's broken in, you can do it with your fingernail, but if it ain't, you got to get in there. So I would wrap this around it, pop it up, and to get it out to disassemble the LCP. Or whatever you want to pry. If you have to pry something on your guns, like your extractor on your 1911, some of them come right out. Some of them are tight. You just got to get in there, just give it a little nudge, not too much, and you want to have a protected insulation on any kind of metal object that touches your pistol. Okay. Electrical tape, it just comes in handy. Comes in handy with everything. Just like I said, I wrapped it around my ridgeback rack pegs so I don't scratch up my gun. You know, it's just, you'll use it. You'll use it. You wrap your tools with it, whatever. You need a roll of electrical tape. You want a 1/4-inch long Allen key for taking off stocks. Some of them are 1/4 inch. Some of them are 5/16. It depends. But most of the ones I've been messing with has been 1/4 inch, so I got one big one. We just get a set of Allen keys, a whole fucking set, and then you ain't gotta worry about it. You gotta have Allen keys, nice long ones too. You want long ones, okay? I'll show you why. If my stock might come today. I ordered a butt stock for my Mossberg 930. What's up? What's up? It's gonna look awesome. Hey, anyone want that pistol grip for my Mossberg 930? I'm willing to practically sell it very cheap, you know. Okay. Well, that's another video, unless it comes today. Okay, you want some Allen keys? Now I got this set of Allen keys, this little set. This is great, especially for taking off. I'm going to have to take off the front sight of my AR-15. Remember in the beginning of the video? And I got to spin the little bitch around. And it's good to have a set of these Allen keys, a whole set of these. And it's good to have them in this because you won't lose them. They're all here. They're fast. Zip, zip, zip. You know me, I'm impatient. You know, I can't stand looking for stuff, digging around. You want a set of these. Get yourself a set of those. Very, very, very important now that we're talking about stuff like that. Get yourself a set of punches. You cannot work on your pistols or your rifles or anything without a set of punches. Now these are steel punches, which it's okay in some circumstances. It depends on the gun. Try to get a set of nylon punches if you can, but you need the steel ones too, because sometimes you'll have a stubborn pin that won't come out, and the nylon one ain't strong enough to get it out. It'll just bend. But you use a steel one. But what you do is put a little piece of rubber or a piece of hard plastic on top of the pin, and you whack it out just to get it broke loose with a steel punch. Should never put steel on steel and hit it together. You know, even the little pins that hold the gun together. I won't do it unless it's loose enough where I can push it. Then it's fine. So you want a set of those. What the hell am I doing? These. All right. Also, I have a set of brass punches. These were sent to me from a guy. Brass is great. It's very soft. If you're working on steel, obviously the brass is softer than steel, so the brass will bend before the steel on your gun will. So that's why you would like to use brass punches. If you don't have nylon punches, they're good. See how some of these are mushroomed from me using them? That's how soft that shit is. Brass punches. Oh, man. Now here's a nylon punch. It's just a big one. Now if I'm driving in a pin on one of my 1911s, a real expensive gun, I'll use this nylon punch. I'll put it on top. I'll push the pin in halfway with my hand. Then I can't get in there no more. Then I'll put the nylon punch on top of the pin and just drive the pin in the rest of the way with a plastic punch. So I don't want to mar up the pin. You know, I just don't. Not on my Colt or my Kimber, or I don't want to even work on my Ed Brown. Just forget that. I'll just send that to Ed Brown. But these are good to have. I only have one. I got to get a set of these. You need to get a set of them. Very important to me. Another good thing to have if you have a 1911 or expensive 1911 is a 1911 wrench. This is great. This is great for my Ed Brown because I don't like using tools to open it, to take it down. Really, with a 1911, you don't need any tools to take it down. You shouldn't need any tools. But if you do, and it's stubborn, and you have a tight bushing like I do on the Ed Brown, it's good to use this. This thing works handy. The Ed Brown bushings are tighter. That's another video. I'll tell you why. The end of the barrel on an Ed Brown flares out. You can't see it, but it does, and I'll show you why. That's where that's where calipers come in. Man, I can't. My mouth's getting stiff. I can't talk this much. I don't know how you girls do blowjobs. I couldn't do it. You know, you see them, the dirty movies, and they're doing it and doing it and doing it for like 20 minutes. Jesus Christ. Another thing, you want a set of files. Set of files. Sometimes you got to modify things a little bit. You know, like I said, don't do trigger jobs, but sometimes when you're working on a stock or a plastic stock, and the stock might be over molded just a little bit, you might have to take a little bit off here, a little bit off there to get the stock to fit. So you want yourself a nice coarse file, and then you want to get yourself a super fine file, of course, to finish it. And then I got these little files for little reaching hard, you know. I was working on my cowboy gun one time, that open top cowboy gun. I had burrs. When I pulled the hammer back, there was burrs in the channel, fucking burrs in there. So I had to get in there with this and just knock the burrs down, and that's what these are great for. And these are cheap, but they break easy, so don't use them as pry bars. File steel is extremely hard. It's so hard it doesn't give. When it doesn't give, it snaps in half, just like a drill bit. Okay, and one of the most important things to just add it to my tool, to my gun tool kit, is a compressor. And this is what you're going to need, a nozzle like this. You want a nozzle like this because it has a rubber tip on it. This way, if you happen to hit your gun with it while you're blowing it, you won't scratch it. So it's all rubber protected. Even this is rubber protected, and this is great to blow out your frames when you're done. When you're done cleaning your 1911 or your Glock or whatever. And you know there's stuff in there you can't get, or you know there's leftover oil in there you couldn't dry out. So you just get this and blow the whole frame out with this. But what's most important though, when you get this, you want to get a moisture captured system, and it screws onto your tank of your air compressor because there is moisture in that air. So you don't want to be shooting moisture in your frame either. So go to Harbor Freight, they have everything, and everything's very cheap there. Sweet. It's my little blower. Very important, I've said this in a ton of videos, gunsmithing screwdriver set, because gunsmithing bits are different than regular bits. They don't taper to a point, they have a squared off edge. See it? Has a squared off edge. And there it is. See how it's square on the top? It's not tapered like a regular screwdriver. That's designed so it fits in that screw slot perfectly, and you don't mar or stretch out and make your screws look like shit. What I do, how anal retentive I am, I'll wrap a cleaning patch around that, then put it in the screw, and then turn it. Especially when you're working on a 1911, because they're pretty, you know. What are you going to do? So most of these bits are gunsmithing bits. And then you have, of course, you need these, the stars. Sometimes when you're changing out 1911 grips, sometimes they're stars or Torx, whatever which one. It's the same thing. Or sometimes they're Allen key. Sometimes they're slotted screws. I've never seen a Phillips screw. God forbid, that would look like shit. You want to get yourself some Loctite. It's called Guntite. You want the blue shit. You don't want the red shit. The red shit is like for permanent shit, like you never take off again. So you want the blue stuff, unless you're making a permanent fix. Okay, that's different. And there's the screw. And this is a good screwdriver set. It's from Spec Tools. Anyone knows they're expensive. And then I have these. I got this set just for whatever, like if I'm working on a stock. You know, it's just a nice set to have. This is DeWalt, and they got pretty much every bit in there you want. Now I won't use these all the time because they're not gunsmithing. They're not gunsmithing bits. But when you're taking a stock off of a Mossberg, or you know, inside a stock, a plastic stock, there might be a big Phillips screw, and there's nothing special about them screws. So you know, it's good to have these. Okay, I got that from DeWalt. I barely ever use this stuff, but that's it. Man, you guys are killing me. This is too much shit to cover. I should have just did a cooking video. Now, that's it. I mean, it's not a lot of money you're looking at here. You could get all this stuff for, all of it, for under $100. You can get all this shit. You know what I mean? Just go to Harbor Freight. You know, some of their stuff's cheap, but some of their stuff's good. I wouldn't buy any of their hand drills or circular saws or sawzalls because they have cheap motors in them. Don't do it. But their hand tools and their air tools, they're fine. I've been using them for years. They're fine. Now what I'm going to do with this bad boy is I'm taking this stock off, First of all, I don't like the way it looks. I don't like. It looks like a fucking. It looks like a little chicken neck here. It looks like, you know what I mean? I don't like the way that looks. And plus, I'm not a fan of pistol grips with shotguns, so I'm putting the traditional, regular, classic buttstock on it, and this thing's going to look beautiful. It's going to look like a police gun, you know what I mean? So this will be coming off. We'll do a video on it and replacing it. And they do sell the Mossberg 930 with that regular stock, and I seen it in Dick's. I'm like, man, that looks so much better. It looks so much more comfortable. So I just ordered it from Mossberg. My buddy Joe is having it shipped here quick for me because he's the man. And then that's it. That's what I'm doing with this. That's what I'm waiting for. Maybe it'll be here today. Wow. Alright guys. Hope you liked the video. That's all I got for you today. I really want to get this AR-15 to the range. We really need to shoot it. We need to shit it. I did shit after I've added up all the fucking prices of all the upgrades. There is exactly over $1,600 in upgrades on that AR. See, a lot of some guys were breaking my balls. Oh, you're supposed to be a quality guy. What'd you buy DPMS for? Dude, it was an Oracle DPMS stripped to the bone so I could build it to the way I like it. Now you're looking at, you know, a $2,500, $2,600 rifle. Okay? Whatever. Alright guys, take it easy. I hope this helped your gun tool questions. That's all I got for you. See ya.